once you have your model loaded into Maya, one thing you're gonna want to do now, we have it on the modeling tab here. So we want to now switch that to rigging. So that'll change some of the stuff on top here. So we're gonna want to select the skeleton and hit click joints. And then you want to hit the space bar. The space bar allows you to see other views, like the front view, side view, top view, for example. And it's really easy to start lining up your skeleton with these views. So once you press the space bar, hover your mouse to whichever screen you want to be on. So you just hit the space bar here, and now we're on here. And you want to make sure that this little icon that looks like a little joint is selected so that we can see the joints through the actual body here. So we're going to get started. Let's go ahead and start building the spine at least. So we're going to go right here. All right, so we got the basic spine there. Go ahead and select the Q key. Just make sure we're out of it. This section, whatever you're using, if it's still there, you can press that and continue. So we want to continue. So that start with the root, or I guess the base of the joint. I guess this will be like the center of gravity of the joint or whatever. But make sure you have that selected. We're gonna go ahead and put a joint here for the hip. Go ahead and switch to the other view. And now I made a mistake. So let's go ahead and undo. It's when you're doing on this side here, let's go ahead and redo it. See how it's better here. So we're gonna do is a few joints. Going for the knee. Then let's go ahead and now let's go back to the other here. So make sure we're being more accurate for the ankle and for the rest of the foot. So pretty straightforward. So with the knee joint, it should really be in front, and it should be in front only because when you do your IK, it's best for the knee joint to be a bit forward from the other joints. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Go ahead and press your W key so you can move it and move it forward. Now notice how just doing that is moving your whole joints, and I know we don't want that. So let's go ahead and undo. Let's hold the D key, then move it. That only just moves the single joint. It's going to be a huge help. Okay, so we got the leg going. Now let's go ahead and get started. Oops, sorry. Let's go ahead and get started on the arm now. So let's go ahead and switch your view to the front view, and let's go ahead and start the arm. So I'll go ahead, select this part, like the beginning of the area. Gonna make the joints for I believe the clavicle. So right here, then for the shoulder, come up here. Then for the rest of the arm. Then you're gonna want to switch these on top. And now we're gonna make some joints for the fingers. So make a joint there. So pretty straightforward. Basically placing the joints where it's going to be bending. It's going to press the Q key. Let's go ahead and reset. Select from the wrist and start making the joints for the other fingers. Don't worry if it's not too straight. You can always adjust it later. So Q key again. Now let's get going. Start from the wrist, knuckle, then the other joints of the finger. Okay, cool. So again, same concept with the knee. It needs to be forward from the other joint. So let's go ahead and adjust it. Press W key. Then you're going to want to press the D key again to only move the joint itself without moving the whole rest of the skeleton. Let's go ahead and adjust the wrist. And let's go ahead and adjust the shoulders as well. Let's go ahead and switch to other views. If needed, just make some more adjustments before we continue. And now you got the basic left side of this character. And now we want to get to the neck. So let's go over here. All right, so we're gonna select the create joints, select from the start of here. Let's go ahead and put one here for the, actually, let's undo. Now that I have it selected, it'll be easier to go to the side view and start from the neck. Then next joint all the way to the top here. And now we got the rest of the joints for the head. Now, the cool thing is that we don't have to create the other side by hand anymore. We can go ahead and mirror the rest of the joint. But before then, we want to make sure everything is good before we mirror it. So that's my general preference. I'm probably just gonna fix this a bit more. Bring that forward. Then your hand, your fingers are probably gonna look a little different. So go ahead and let's just fix that. So same thing again. Go ahead and W key, then the D key to move the joint. And we want to make sure we're fixing it in the correct areas of the joint where it's going to be bending. So that's more or less good. You can go ahead and adjust just a bit more, just to make sure it's pretty polished. And here it looks more or less good, but let's go ahead and select both of them. You don't need to select D key, you can just raise it up. I think that'll be fine. Okay, but yes, when it's bending, you want it more or less where the tip of the joint is. It'd probably be better. Okay, now that everything is more or less set, we're gonna want to go ahead and select the clavicle part. And here's the cool part now. Now we can go to skeleton and mirror joints. And there you go. The rest of the arm is now there. And we're gonna go ahead and do that again with the leg. Go ahead and select skeleton and mirror joints. And now you got your whole skeleton for your rig. Now let's go ahead and start with binding it to the skin. So we want to make sure we select the entire character. So you want to go to your outliner, just to be safe, go to your outliner and let's go ahead and do it again. Click on the first one, then hold shift, and go ahead and click the last one. So that's all selected. Then you're going to want to either shift or press command on the joint system. And it's important that you do the joint, selecting the joint last compared to the character. So we're going to now go to skin and bind to skin. This looks like that didn't work, so let's go ahead and retry that. I think it did not work only because I did this on my practice run. So let's go ahead and try it again. So select the whole character, then now the skeleton system, and bind to skin. Let's go ahead and try that again. Let's see. And here we go. Now the character is now binded to the skeleton, or the skeleton is now binding to the character. Now you might notice that, other things are moving, and that's something you're just gonna have to continue on when it comes to painting the weights. But that's something we can go over later. All we want to do is just go ahead and from the start to the beginning, your basic skeleton to binding it to your actual character. And just remember, icon here is to help you bring up the skeleton so it's visible. And let's go ahead and just, make sure, just test the thing. Don't worry about all this. This can all be painted out later. And for knowing how to do that, we can always make another video. I also want to note that the rotation, you might want to make sure the rotations are set before completely binding it. But I'll go ahead and get back to that on another video. I just want to go ahead and do this right now.